Today we've got one of 2024's most anticipated sneakers to take a look at, and they are exactly what people wanted. So why are they still mad? Have the box, and as you can see, it is just pretty much OG, true to the original. You've got the Jumpman on the top in red, you've got the elephant print on the side, no scuffing, no reimagining going on here. So let me pop the top and show you guys what we're working with today. It's a big one. It's the Jordan 3 Black Cement. A couple other notable things about the unboxing experience. First of all is, of course, you get that good clean Nike orange tag that's attached to the sneaker. And this one doesn't come with the metal, it just comes with the plastic attachment, which is meh. And then you get a little info sheet which you could just pull open, and then it shows you all of the tech specs and the construction of this pair of shoes. Nice to have. And this one, unlike the white cement, is not distressed as well, so follows along with the same theme. But here we have them, guys, the latest and technically the greatest Jordan 3 Black Cements. I mean, there's been a ton of retros of the Black Cement 3s over the years, and this one is supposed to be as close to the originals as possible, and they've done a great job with these things. However, there is one big problem that has nothing to do with any of the details that are supposed to make it as close to the OGs as possible. But of course, we'll get into all of that in just a minute. Let's first just break down all of the release details so you know everything you need to know about picking these things up. So this is the big Black Friday release. These are going to be dropping November the 23rd for a retail price of $220 for you guys out in the US. Here in the UK, they are £190. They're going to be dropping in a full family size run, and according to the internet, there's going to be a ton of these things available. Like, they've made a ton of pairs. So even though the demand for these is through the roof, I don't think it's going to be that hard to pick up a pair. I mean, they definitely will sell out, but I don't think it's going to be a super limited and hard to grab pair of shoes. And of course, like any other big Jordan retro release, you've got a ton of people with a ton of opinions. People kind of, you know, going over all of the details with a fine-tooth comb, trying to pick up on anything that kind of doesn't make them happy. That makes me think of one question I really want to put forward to you guys. By the end of this video, once we go through all of the details about this pair of shoes, answer this: do people really want a retro as close to the original as possible or not? Sit with that one for a minute. Now, obviously, Black Cement 3 is one of the most iconic Jordan 3 colorways of all time, arguably a lot of people's favorite. It's understandable that people want these things to be right, and I think Jordan Brand are really trying to do that in the sense of like making sure that all of the details and the shape and everything about this pair of shoes is as close to the pair that originally dropped back in 1988. So these are not reimagined like the white cements that we got last year. There's no distressed box, there's no sailing or aging on the midsole or anything like that, just a plain old retro. However, what this does mean is that these do look pretty different to what they did in the last retro, which is the 2018 pair. Now, I don't have the 2018 pair to directly compare them, but even just through images, you can clearly see all of the little refinements that they've made to this pair. The shape is slightly different. Elephant print is lighter on these. The sock line or padding is thinner. The red on the tongue doesn't overlap to the front. Overall leather on these is a lot less tumbled, and I think this is where a lot of people's opinions start to split. I think many people have gotten used to the look of the 2018 pair, and then when they see these, they're like, their brain is telling them that's not quite right to what I'm used to. But obviously the other people are like, well, it's true to the original and that's what we want. It reminds me of the military blue force that we got earlier this year and the whole discussion around that pair, because they did the exact same thing with those. They try to make them as true to the OGs as possible, and as we know, the darker blues and the overall grayish tone that that pair of shoes had compared to the last retro, a lot brighter whites and a lot brighter of a blue color. I happen to really like this 2024 pair. I think they nailed it just like the white cements that they did last year. I didn't really mind all of the sailing and everything on that. I think it went well with the white cement. It probably looks a lot better to just keep this one without all of the sail. So I'm happy that they did just the white midsole and the white detailing around the back. I think as far as comparisons, these are the two best ones to compare because these are practically identical. The shape is pretty much identical. The only main differences that I can really tell from having these two shoes is the fact that the black cements have a slightly lighter elephant print. It's a little bit darker on these white cement. Obviously, all of the sailing, but we've covered that. And then the leather leather or the material is a lot more tumbled on the white cements when compared to these blacks. They just kind of look a little bit more smoother. A lot of the details on here are great. Obviously, you've got all of the OG branding, like the Nike Air tag on the back. That looks great. You've got the Jumpman on the tongue surrounded by that nice soft gray leather. Speaking of leather, the overall feel of this pair of shoes is nice. I like it. It feels nice and soft and it looks dope. But the biggest problem with this pair of shoes, and it's going to be a lot worse for some people, but it's the quality control. Now, Nike and Jordan Brand is known for being pretty lax with the quality control. A lot of people have received pretty messed up pairs of shoes in the past, but the quality control problem only gets worse the higher stock the shoe is. I mean, it was a big conversation with the white cements, and I'm not just talking about like minor glue stains over here. Like the pair that I have is actually different from left to right. In terms of the actual leather, the right pair looks a lot more tumbled than the left one, and I'll try and put up some images because I doubt you can see it on camera, but yeah, you can tell that this one is definitely a little bit slightly different in comparison to this one. Now, it's not the end of the world. Like, I wouldn't have any issue rocking these, but some people in the past have received ones with like elephant print that looks completely different from left to right. So really, what are we talking about here? You could have like the best retro possible. Like Jordan Brand just nailed all of the details, made them as close to the originals as possible, but then you get the shoes and all of the details are messed up because of bad quality control, and now you're pissed. Now, I know a lot of people make this a much bigger deal than it actually needs to be because not that many people are actually affected in comparison to the amount of pairs that are out there. It's just that if you are affected with a pair, it's just really, really rough. Let's say you get a pair and like the elephant print is so bad from left to right that you just cannot wear these things because they look so weird and potentially even fake. Well, what are you gonna do? You're gonna ask Nike for a refund, and that's exactly what they'll do. But now you can't just get like a swapped brand new pair because they're all out of stock, so now you have to look towards the resale market. It's just a whole big ordeal, and it's actually pretty crazy thinking about it. Like all of the steps you have to jump through to get one of these big like high hype releases. Like first off, you got to be lucky enough to actually get the pair of shoes on the Nike sneakers app, and then you have to pray that your UPS guy doesn't make these things magically disappear when they're in transit from Nike to you. And then after all of that, you gotta cross your fingers and hope that the quality control on your pair is good enough. Either way, back to the sneakers. Overall, look guys, I think these things are done very well. I don't think you're going to be disappointed at all. I think this is a really, really cool colorway to have in the collection. Like, I really wanted both of these, the black cement and the white cement, and now just over the last 2 years, I've managed to do that. It's such a good looking pair of shoes that can be styled so effortlessly. I think the colors of black, gray, and red just go together so nicely. Great time to pick these things up for the fall and winter season because I think they're going to get a ton of wear. And I think for a lot of people, this is going to be like sneaker of the year for them. A lot of people who've been waiting for this colorway or just love the black cement 3s, this is going to be up there as one of the best sneaker releases of 2024. Now, for sizing on these, I've got my true to size. They fit perfectly. Again, I can't compare these things to the 2018s, so I don't have the sizing comparison, but I do know that one of the biggest differences between these and the 2018s, which might affect sizing, would be the amount of padding that they added into the sock liner. 2018s were a lot more padded, so it's definitely something that's worth noting. However, in regards to like the white cement 3s, if you've had those or any kind of recent releases of the Jordan 3, I went with the exact same size and they fit perfectly, so that's what I'm going to recommend to you, is probably just stay true to size. Overall, banger release. Super glad that they're bringing these things back, and I finally got to complete the little duo over here, the white and the black cement 3s. Let me know what you think about these things down in the comment section, and also let me know which one is your favorite, white or black cement. Drop your thoughts down in the comment section, and of course, if you want to check out another video, all you got to do is just click that one right over there.